Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam, and it's time for this week's Oracle Reveal. So earlier today on Instagram, I placed up a photo with 3 different animals on it, and the animals were the lizard, the jaguar, and the butterfly. And I asked you to use your intuition and ask yourself which animal was getting stuck in your head, which one was calling to you, because that animal has a special message for you today. So for those of you who picked the lizard traditionally is the dreamer of the animal totem world. And so when we are attracted to lizard, it can often tell you to pay attention to your dreams or also to pay attention to your daydreams, pay attention to where your mind starts to wander. And also lizards are able to regulate their body temperature. They don't allow themselves to get too hot or too cold. So this could be a time to check in with yourself and just make sure that you're not getting too escalated or too lethargic as well. The first card for the lizard people is where it's best to place your focus at this time. And we got the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is in a field, which looks a little bit brown in the background, which is indicating that things are not growing as fast as he would like. But this is so important because there's a patience quality to this card. There's a need for a standstill or a wait. In fact, of all the tarot cards, the Knight of Pentacles, of all the knights, is the only one on the horse that is not moving forward. It's completely standing still. And oftentimes when we're focusing on something that is at a standstill, it's because we need to learn more about it, or there's a special detail or a special aspect of this that just needs a little bit more of your attention. It can feel frustrating if you're really trying to move forward and you're feeling like the brakes are being put on at this time. But that Knight of Pentacles is telling you that growth is happening beneath the surface of those brown fields, even if you can't see the evidence of it for this moment. And so it's saying to pay attention to the details right now. The details are going to count for you. The advice from your inner wisdom for the lizard people, wow, there's another Pentacles card. And again, here's that metaphor of watching things grow slowly. You got this man on the 7 of Pentacles who's working very hard at getting this crop to grow, but it's not yet ready for harvest. And you can see, just like the Knight of Pentacles, this man is also at a standstill. He's pausing his work. He's looking at what's growing. And everything has been planted already. This is not a card of a major overhaul that really needs to happen for you at this time, but instead the gentle tending of what you've already planted. And so with both of these cards together, it's really telling me that whatever projects you're investing in at this time just need patience, and that you're actually on the right track, but you just have to allow this to have a little bit of time to grow in its appropriate time. All is blooming in its right time. And then finally, the mythic archetype that's going to help the lizard people is one of the 3 fates, Clotho. She's the fate who weaves the thread of life. And so she's often talking about a new beginning that you're just about on the brink of. She's also asking you to create something new. So perhaps while you're waiting for one aspect of your life to bear fruit, Clotho's telling you to start weaving another aspect of your life, to start another new beginning, or to put some energy in another project that might have been neglected at this time. So that is the message for the lizard people. The next animal that we have in the list is the jaguar. So if you pick jaguar, this message is for you. And jaguar is known as the animal that walks with impeccability. The jaguar follows his integrity. And so if you're attracted to the jaguar right now, this could be a time where you're really standing in your integrity, where you really have to make a choice to go the high road. The first card for you is where it's best to place your focus during this week. And then we got the moon card reversed. Now the moon, when it's upright, indicates your instincts, your feelings, your intuitions. And the moon is La Luna in Latin, where we get our word lunatic from. And when the moon comes up reversed, it could be indicating that it's really easy to get distracted and to not plug into those deeper intuitions you're having at this time. Sometimes when the moon comes up reversed, there's just a lot of external demands on you. There's other people to please. There's things on your list that you have to accomplish. And sometimes this card is saying you're not really getting back to yourself. You're not really getting back in touch with that center, which has all that wise advice and all that inner guidance. And so the moon reversed is telling you to recapture or reclaim that connection at this time. And whether it's through meditating or getting more rest or finding just a little moment of quiet for yourself, it's so important to turn your ears inward and hear what is calling to you. Otherwise, things are going to feel unlucky, off, weird, erratic, or you just might feel a little bit more exhausted at this time. Advice from your inner wisdom for the Jaguar people is to accept good things being offered to you. We see on the Four of Cups this man who's so stuck in his head, he's concentrating on problems. He's worried about the past and what happened then. He's worried about how he's going to do everything in his future. And he's completely blind to this angelic hand coming out of the cloud and offering him a golden cup. And what this is saying is that the universe is trying to bless you in some way. But again, there's this sense of tuning it out. And this is coming up in the moon reverse where you're tuning out your instincts. It's coming up in the Four of Cups where you're tuning out the gifts that are being offered at this time. And so both of these cards are really telling me how important it is for you to make time for your awareness this week. That you really want to be aware, you want to be present with what's happening right now, and you want to tune into what that inner wisdom is telling you. And the mythic archetype that's going to help you do that for the Jaguar people is Dionysus, the god of the vine, the god of wine. And he's also the god of ecstasy and transcendent experiences. He's a very religious figure. And what I mean by religious is not like following ritual, but instead transcending your daily worries and gripes and concerns and really reconnecting with that part of you that floats above that stuff. Dionysus is also a card of loosening up and having a little bit more of a better time. And especially when we see him next to that Four of Cups, it's just indicating that there's a lot to do right now and it's really easy to get overly serious. So it's time to let loose a little bit. So whether this is to socialize or get with friends or party a little bit, Dionysus is asking you to let go. So allow things to come in and also surrender some of the details that really aren't that important at this time. And finally, we have butterfly, which is that symbol of transformation. And whenever we're attracted to butterfly, something is trying to be reborn or transformed in our lives. And so you might find your project is going from one phase to another, or that you're reinventing yourself in some way. First card for butterfly is where it's best to place their focus, and that's actually on the Devil card. And when we see the Devil card, even though he's a little scary, he is indicating your shadow side needs some attention. Everyone's got an angel on their shoulder and everyone's got a devil on their shoulder. Everyone's got a voice telling them how wonderful they are, how great you are, keep being positive. And everyone's got a voice that works against you and says, why try, why go through this transformation, why even do this? And the devil represents your own shadow self. And so what you want to place your focus on, especially during this week, is challenging the lie that you might tell yourself that you're powerless. The devil has chains around the figures on his card, but the chains they wear are rather loose, meaning they can slip out of them at any time. And so this is so important not to get hooked into old negative thinking, but to slip out of the chains and see the devil for what he is, which is a big liar. And so if your shadow is starting to act up and that's all you're hearing right now, it's time to challenge that and to slip out of that bondage. For the advice from your inner wisdom, we got the Two of Cups, which actually indicates some of the disinfectant for that devil energy. And that's going to come through communicating with the people you love most. It's so interesting when we have a fear and we are brooding with it or isolated with it or burying it. It can really rule our lives. But the Two of Cups is saying if you're able to talk about it, if you're able to express what that fear is, if you're able to express what your shadow's been telling you with someone you trust, they'll tell you you're crazy, you should totally go for what you're hoping to, or that this is a challenge that you can overcome and you shouldn't listen to your fear. Two of Cups is telling you to open your heart at this time despite your fears and to reconnect with somebody else again who may be in a position of helping you. And finally, the mythic archetype for the butterfly is another of the three fates. It's Lachesis, and she is the fate that measures the thread. She's also the fate that brings luck. She allots all the good luck that you're going to have in your life. But her main message is that you are going to be paying attention to how you're spending your time at this time. When I see the Two of Cups next to the devil, you have a choice. You can either spend your time worrying about what your shadow is saying, or you can spend your time opening up to love at this time. And I would vote for the latter. So that is this week's Oracle. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you did, I do invite you to go to elliotoracle.com and book a session with me. They make wonderful Christmas gifts if you can't think of anything else to get that special someone. So please check that out. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Take care.